Hi everyone. This is Brandy again. What is it? I know it's supposed to do a review, but so and someone requested another fanfiction read along. Um, yeah, no, I'm just kind of sick, so bear with me. This is a fanfiction about Black Girl Brides, I guess. And it's a reader one, like the character times reader. Okay. Um. Hang on. Let's go back to the very first beginning. Okay. With a jolt, Andy woke up and sat up quickly. His breathing was heavy, his hands were shaking, and he was sweating like crazy. The darkness of his bedroom seemed to wrap around him in a mocking way. Not even the moon shone through the open window like usual, and the silence screamed in his ears. Eyes wandered to the other side of the bed, hoping to see you. Sleeping, but they peacefully, but it was too dark to see anything. Your name. I'm just gonna add in my name. I don't care. Brandy, he asked quietly, but there was no response, not even a breathing sound. Just as he patted his hands over the cold side of the mattress, he realizes that you weren't next to him anymore. Okay, Andy, calm down. Maybe she just went into the bathroom or something, he said to himself quietly. He remained sitting on the bed, but even after 10 more minutes, you didn't come back. Not even any sound could be heard. Now he was beginning to panic. He jumped out of the bed and ripped open the door. The hallway was dark, even as Andy switched on the lights. It remained colorless to him. So panicked, he ran into the kitchen, but you weren't there. Into the bathroom, but you weren't there. Into the living room, but you weren't there. No, 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 he mumbled. His tears streamed in his eyes. You couldn't have left him. Please no, he whispered hoarsely and ran around the search for you in every room. Sorry. Once again, but still, he could not find you. Just as just as he was about to call you, he saw faint lights from slits of your working room. A sigh of relief left his lips as he quickly opened the door, only to see you sitting on your wooden desk with the paper in your hand. As you heard the door being opened, you quickly put the paper upside down on the table and looked around. Andy, why are you awake? You asked quietly, but Andy didn't say anything. With big steps, he closed the gap between you and pulled you into a hut. He was trembling, even as he pressed you against him as tightly as he could. I had a nightmare, he whispered quietly, hoping you couldn't hear how much his voice was shaking. I dreamt you left me. Smiling softly, you pulled away a little and stroked his cheek, looking directly into his eyes. His beautiful blue orbs were slightly red and nearly drowning in tears with the threat to escape. I'm not going to leave you, Andy, he said quietly. I would never do that, and do you know why? Andy shook his head and sniffled. Because I love you. And a small smile tugged the corner of his lips as he pulled you back into his embrace. I love you too, he whispered near your ear and pressed a small kiss against your forehead. Let's go back to bed, you said, and pulled away again. Andy nodded eagerly and was about to grab your hand, but you pulled away and smiled at him. Can you go alone? I'll be there in a minute. At first he hesitated, but then nodded and walked back into the dark room. A quiet sigh fell from your lips as you looked at the white paper on your desk again. Picking it up, you turned it around. It was a check-up paper excuse me, from your doctor. The longer you stared at it, the more your eyes filled with tears, as the big line stared back at you evilly. Patient Brandy, your name Brandy, last name, I guess Olmsted. Cancer examinations positive. Okay. Part 2. Within the next few days, your condition got even worse. You felt weak, had headaches, and sometimes you could only see blurred lines of your surroundings, or nearly tripped over invisible objects because you were feeling dizzy, and only because of a tumor in your head. Andy still didn't know about your condition, and you planned on keeping it like that. You had been visiting the doctor every day, hoping you could do it all alone, but you didn't know that something else would happen because of your daily visits. Are you cheating on me? You looked at Andy in shock, your eyes wide open and your mouth forming a small O. You both were sitting in the living room and had been watching TV, just some stupid talk shows that you laughed about. But Andy was tensed and seemed stressed. He wasn't in a good mood for days, but whenever you asked if he was okay, he glared at you and walked into another room. Don't lie to me, he said angrily, and glared at you. He grabbed the remote control and turned off the TV so your attention wouldn't drift off from the talk show again. I'm not lying to you, you said calmly, but Andy still didn't believe you. Then where are you going every day, huh? You bit the bottom of your lip and looked away, a habit of yours whenever you were nervous or afraid. I can't tell you, you mumbled. Meeting your lover, Andy spat out and got up from the sofa. He hovered over you, his body was tense and his glare was burning holes into you. I told you I'm not cheating. You raised your voice slightly and turned back to look at him. His blue orbs were filled with anger, and honestly, you were kind of afraid by now. But mostly because you were really sensitive because of the tumor. Is he fucking you good, or is it his money you need? Damn. Wow. Andy mocked you. His voice dripped with sarcasm as he raised his eyebrows. Now you had enough. You stood up and pushed him backwards, didn't even bother to look back as he stumbled into the bedroom, neatly ran into the wardrobe in the hallway and slammed the door shut behind you. Tears rimmed your eyes as you threw yourself onto the bed and just let them soak your pillows. Not telling Andy about your condition was harder than you thought. The pain in his eyes as he looked at you ripped your heart in two. but also the fact that he didn't seem to trust you. You had been together for 3 years now, thought he 3 years, and he now thought you would cheat on him because of money. Okay. Only 2 hours later, Andy made his way into the bedroom. He opened the door quietly and looked at your sleeping figure. Brandy, he whispered into the darkness, but no answer came back. With a quiet sigh, he changed into his sleeping shorts and lay down next to you. You didn't cuddle like usual. Not even your backs were touching as you turned away from him. It was going to be a lonely night, even when you laid in the same bed together. Andy was the first one to be awake the next morning. He got up, changed his clothes, and went into the kitchen to make breakfast. He was still angry, not because of you, but because of himself. How could he assume you were cheating on him? Telling you that he reacted like that because he was worried you would leave him for someone else was a lame excuse. Yeah, it was true. Even after 10 hours, he still didn't come out of bed. It was already 7 p.m. At first, Auntie thought you were just really mad at him, that you didn't even want to come out, but he started to worry as he didn't even hear any noises coming from the bedroom. It was deadly silent in the whole house. Brandy, can I come in? He was standing in front of the bedroom door and waited for you to answer, but there was no response. You opened the door quietly to see you lying in the same position as in the morning, laying on your side, facing away from where Andy was normally lying. Can we talk, please? I feel bad, he said quietly, and sat down next to you on the bed. Your eyes were closed and your breathing was steady, like you were sleeping. Brandy, please, you're starting to make me worry. Andy grabbed your hand and held it in his, but still no reaction from you. Brandy asked again, louder this time. Brandy, please answer me. He grabbed you by the shoulders and started to shake you gently. Stop playing around with me. This isn't funny. But you didn't respond. Cursing loudly, Andy scooped you in his arms and ran to the front door with you still in his arms. He grabbed for the keys of his car, but slammed the front door shut and hurried to his car. After he made sure you sat in the passenger seat without him having to worry that you would fall to the side, he ran to the driver's side and started the car. As he arrived at the hospital, he literally kicked open the door with you in his arms, looking like he just caught you, and shouted, "She isn't waking up." The doctors made a small checkup, recognizing you immediately, and after they rolled your bed into a small room, the doctor asked Andy to talk to him in the hallway. We assume you already know about the tumor in her head. He started ignoring Andy, who stared at him in shock with wide eyes. A tumor in your head, and you didn't tell him anything. It's more serious than we thought, and it grew really quickly. That's why she isn't waking up. She fell into a coma. A shaking breath escaped from Andy's lips. His heart broken too, and the broken pieces bored into his lungs, making it difficult for him to breathe. We're not sure if or when she'll wake up, but we have to remove the tumor quickly as possible. Tomorrow will be her operation. was all he said before he turned around to leave, but Andy held him back. How high are her chances to survive? He whispered quietly, trying to hold back the tears that burned into his eyes. The doctor looked at him with a saddened expression and put his supporting hand on his shoulder. Her chances are really small, but we'll hope for the best. Andy slowly walked back into your room. His head hung down, and he stared at the ground as he sat down on the chair next to your bed. Just seeing you lying there, pale and weak, while the heart monitor was beeping in the background, was too much for him. Just yesterday you sat on the sofa in the living room, watching TV and cuddling, until he brought up the topic that made you fight horribly. The last thing you heard him saying was him asking you if you needed money from your lover and if he was fucking you good. I'm so stupid, he whispered and sniffled quietly, even as he rubbed his eyes to prevent the tears from escaping. Every single one of them found a way down to his cheeks, like a waterfall. I'm so fucking stupid. Why didn't you just tell me? He sobbed quietly. His hands grabbed your smaller one and intertwined your fingers together, feeling your cold fingers between his. Will you wake up for me? He sobbed quietly and looked up at your sleeping face. Will you wake up when I sing for you? A faint smile formed on his lips as Andy rubbed his thumb over the back of your hand. His other hand found its way to your hair, stroking it softly as he parted his lips to sing your favorite song. I pray for morning. I swear I'll never let you die. A sob left his lips, and more tears started to fall. These saints within us can bring this moment back to life. His sobs got even louder. His shoulders started to shake, and he hid his face in the mattress you were lying on. And my heart's held high with this battle cry. Oh my John. Grabbing his hair with the hand that had been stroking your head softly only seconds ago, he tugs on his hair madly, letting out his anger and sadness as he cries echo around the small room. On the horizon we will resurrect the sun. Like a madman he sat on the chair next to your bed, crying and sobbing violently while grabbing onto your hand for dear life, but you still weren't waking up. Just the heart monitor answered Andy's cries mockingly. Wow. Part 3. The next day arrived almost too quickly, but instead of the comforting warmth of the sun, heavy rain clouds wandered around the sky and wrapped the small city into a cold atmosphere. Andy has been sitting next to your bed the whole night, holding your hand in his while his face was still hidden in the mattress you were lying on. He didn't sleep enough, only about an hour. The other time he has been either silently crying or watching you in hopes you would wake up, even though he knew that you wouldn't. It was only 5 a.m. as 2 nurses entered the small room and informed him that it was now time for the operation. He didn't even want to let go at first, and it took them about 10 minutes to explain to him that it was necessary to finally let you leave for the operation room. Otherwise, your chances of surviving would get smaller with each passing day, with each passing minute. But I'm scared, he said quietly, and looked at the nurse, which was a lot smaller than him. I understand, sir, but it's for the better. We'll help her, but you'll have to let her go, she said, calm, clammy, and rubbed his back comfortingly. I can't, he mumbled quietly, his voice was cracking slightly. How about we let you hold her hand on the way to the operation room? It's on the other side of the building, but then you'll have to let go and let us try to help her, she suggested, and gave him a soft smile. Without saying anything, he finally nodded, and after that, they unhooked you from the heart monitor, and even helped to roll your bed out of the room. As they were finally on the hallway, rolling you towards the operation section of the hospital, he held your hand tightly in his again. Your were slightly cold and pale. It was like he was holding the hands of a corpse, lifeless and weak, without any warmth. The way to the operation section was like a walk towards the place of execution, filled with fear, thoughts that stirred the pale in your head, but also relief. So, sir, you'll have to let go now, the other nurses said. Now, her tone was kind of annoyed, angered, and pissed. Didn't she understand the fear of someone hoping he wouldn't lose the one he loved? Andy nodded and leaned down to press a gentle kiss on your forehead before he let you go of your hand. Quickly, the nurses rolled your bed through the open doors, which were being closed only seconds after they entered. I'll wait for you here, my love, Andy whispered quietly, and made his way to the small seat in air only a few feet away. An old lady was sitting there as well, looking around with anxious eyes. As Andy sat down, her gaze immediately fell on him, and she gave him a soft smile, as if she was greeting him with the last bit of um, happiness she had. Andy nodded at her shortly before his eyes returned back to the doors through which you just entered the operation room. You're also praying for your loved one, young man? The old woman asked quietly and smiled slightly. Andy looked at her, emotionless, and nodded. Excuse me. For my girlfriend, he managed to say. I've been waiting for my husband to come out of those rooms for hours now, the old lady said sadly. I'm scared he wasn't in his best condition. At least 3 surgeons were standing around your unconscious body, working as hard as sweat started to form on their foreheads. They wore green coats which were slightly red from your blood, and the only lights were coming from the lamps above you. You slowly opened your eyes and stared at the ceiling. Ash. You were feeling so easy and lightheaded as you sat up slowly and looked around. You were in an operation room, filled with instruments of all kinds, scissors, tweezers, and white cotton wool balls. Heart rate is normal, a female voice said, making you look to your right. A nurse was standing next to you, and she seemed to look at your head like she was hypnotized. Next to her was a heart monitor beeping steadily. There it is, another voice said. but you turn around only to see a surgeon standing behind you. He was doing something on your head which you couldn't see because of a large blanket. Starting at your sleeping face was horrible. Staring at your sleeping face was horrible. Your face was pale, your lips parted slightly under the mask you were wearing. Am I dreaming? You mumbled to yourself. The steady beeping sound of the heart monitor started to fade and slowly down, and Penny's voice filled your ears. Doctor, we're losing her. Do they mean you? She's bleeding too badly. Suddenly an elongated beeping screams in your ears. The last thing you heard before your eyes snapped open. A white ceiling stared back at you and lights were blinding you. What a weird dream, you thought, and blinked a few times. You turned your head slowly and saw a tall figure sitting on a chair next to your bed. His head on your bed. His eyes were closed and he was sleeping peacefully, but still you felt a strong grip he had on your hand. You looked at the matching rings on each of your hands. Am I dreaming? You mumbled quietly, and turned your head again. The lights were really bothering you, but also the heart monitor which was standing on the other side of the bed. Turning back to look at Andy, you squeezed his hands weakly, but just for a small gesture. His head jolted out as he returned into a sitting position. His blue orbs found yours, and almost immediately a large smile formed on his lips. Am I dreaming? He whispered quietly and stood up to hover over you. He stared into your eyes, which, with so much love and confusion, like a lost puppy. Brandy, he asked. A teardrop fell from his eyes onto your cheek, another one. Are you really awake? You smiled and nodded. I guess, yeah. You laughed softly, which made him smile even brighter. You're really awake. And he started to cry silently and buried his face in the nape of your neck, wetting it with his salty tears. You survived, he sobbed. It took him at least half an hour to calm down, which you found slightly amusing. And even after a nurse checked on you, he was still crying a little. You can stop crying now, baby. I'm here, you giggled and stroked his cheek lovingly. Never do that to me again, he hiccuped and wiped away some tears on his cheek. Don't you dare. The smile on your lips didn't fade away, even after another hour of you watching him lecture you. You knew that he didn't really mean it like that. It's just his way of showing that he was happy you were still there, that you survived. The little argument you had back then seemed forgotten, as Andy continued to shower you with kisses, small lectures, and sweet nothing. Every 5 minutes he whispered an I love you, which you returned happily, and each smile you gave him seemed to give him strength and forget about his fears. Nothing could ever part you. That's the end of the story. Well, I hope you guys like it. Sorry if I'm like all monotone. I'm just really tired and like sick, so I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.